All right, let's beam right into the heart of a pretty intense debate that's been raging in the Star Trek universe. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into some of the really vocal criticisms surrounding modern Trek. And we're going to do it through the lens of one particular source, the YouTube channel Neurotic Daily, to really get a handle on why they're so frustrated. So yeah, this quote right here, it says it all, doesn't it? This is from our source material, and it really sets the tone for everything we're about to talk about. This isn't just a casual complaint, you know? It's a statement that for them, the franchise is in a total creative nosedive. So what's really driving all this? Well, the commentators are tapping into something a lot of longtime Star Trek fans are feeling. This sense that the show they grew up with, the show they loved, has just completely lost its way. We're not just talking about a bad episode here or there. For them, this is about an entire era of the franchise. Okay, so to really get what they're saying, we need to know the lingo. And the big one is Kurtzman Trek. You'll hear them say it over and over. And for them, it's not just about who the producer is. It's become this catch-all term, kind of a shorthand for a whole style of storytelling and a visual look that they just fundamentally can't stand. And here's where it gets pretty interesting. The commentators, they don't see themselves as being alone in this. They know they're part of a bigger community, and they make a real point of shouting out other people who they feel are on the same page and are making the same arguments. And there's one name that pops up again and again, Major Grin. They hold him up as like a key voice in this whole critical movement. They really praise his work for being super consistent and just full of these detailed takedowns of the new shows. To them, he's the go-to guy if you want to understand what's wrong. And they're not vague about it either. They get right into why they think his work is so important. They'll tell you Major Grin has been on this since day one, basically building this huge library of everything they think is wrong with the new shows. They especially point to his videos about ripped-off content as like Exhibit A, that the new shows are just unoriginal. Okay, so what exactly are these offenses they're talking about? This isn't just a general feeling of dislike. No, the source material we're looking at points to some very specific, very tangible things that they see as massive storytelling failures. So the first big one is that the shows just ignore their own rules. The example they give is seeing a starship go to warp inside a planet's atmosphere. Now, for anyone who's been watching Trek for a while, that's a huge no-no. It just breaks a basic rule of how the universe is supposed to work. To these critics, it just feels like the creators are choosing flashy visuals over making any kind of sense. And then there's this second major offense, and this is one they really lean into. It's the accusation that the new shows are just constantly borrowing, or as they put it, straight up ripping off, ideas and plots from other famous movies and shows. And this right here is the perfect example they use. They draw this direct line between the second season of Picard and the movie Terminator Dark Fate. I mean, look at it. Both are about changing the timeline, and both have the heroes fighting against an agency called ICE. For them, there's no way that's a coincidence. It's just a sign that the writers have run out of ideas. And this critical eye of theirs, it isn't just for shows that are already out. They're also applying it to things that haven't even been released yet. The source gives this whole preemptive takedown of the new Starfleet Academy show, and it's all based on rumors and who they've hired to make it. Their big theory? They're speculating that the show isn't going to be a serious drama at all. They think it's actually meant to be a live-action comedy, kind of like the animated show Lower Decks. And for them, that's not an exciting new take on Trek. It's a total betrayal of what the franchise is supposed to be about. And they list a few reasons for this theory. They point to rumors that 2 seasons were shot back-to-back. Now, you might think that's a sign of confidence, but they see it as a grift, a way to lock in the money before the show can get canceled. Then they also point out that a writer from Dear White People was hired, which to them is just more proof it's going to be a comedy. So when you boil it all down, all of this comes back to a really deep emotional connection to the franchise and its history. The criticism is just dripping with this sense of betrayal, this feeling that something they truly cherish is just being thrown away. It's gotten to the point where they say watching new Star Trek has turned into this cynical bingo game. They're not watching to enjoy it anymore. They're just watching to see what the show is going to mess up next. You know, what piece of lore are they going to break this week? And the sad part is, they say they're always winning that game. To really drive home how disillusioned they feel, they use this incredibly powerful analogy. They say, just imagine walking out of a masterpiece like Terminator 2. you're on a total high, and then someone tells you that in the future, they're just going to kill off John Connor in the first 5 minutes and replace him. That gut punch feeling, that's what they say it feels like to be a Star Trek fan now.
So what we've looked at today is a really passionate argument from one side of this fandom culture war. It's a plea to stick to what they see as the heart and soul of Star Trek. And it really leaves us with this massive question, one that echoes across almost every major fandom today. What's the right way forward for a franchise this old? Do you innovate and risk pushing away your old fans? Or do you protect the legacy and risk never growing? There's just no easy answer.